our workshops were always on the premises, but a lot of the workshops weren't here, they were in Soho. And Soho, of course, was an illicit area, if you like. And I remember the policemen used to come along Savile Row with the ladies of the night who they picked up, and they went and they would be charged in Savile Row, get a £2 fine, and then go back to what they did before.
Originally, a lot of the tailoring firms, certainly along Savile Row, had their own tailors in-house, certainly when they started up. But then as the trade got bigger, they had to have outside workrooms, so the nearest outside workrooms, price-wise, would have been Soho. As the tailors became more independent and started going out on their own and not working for firms but becoming self-employed, they had to find sittings, they had to find boards. And the way that they did that is they went to Soho and they found small little workshops that they could hire a board from.
When I started, must have been 15 or 20 tailors in there. The boards were set 1, 2, 3 boards. There was another one on that side. The place was full of tailors. You had the tailor, and you had an apprentice there, and an apprentice there. That apprentice taught that apprentice. We had it all went like a circle, and there'd be perhaps a tailor's wife or someone sewing. So they had a system, and a lot of the tailors worked like that.
Carnaby Street used to be full of tailors' workshops. Well, that was in the sort of 70s and 80s. That was scruffy and dirty and mice, and it was like sort of Middle Ages really. And the toilet was down in the backyard somewhere. You know. They were generally pretty awful. But.
Well, anyone to do with making suits and clothes, and the majority were Jewish people, and mostly immigrants who came from Russia, Poland, or wherever. My Zaida was born in Russia, and my grandmother was born in Poland. They arrived at Tilbury, and they eventually came down to the West End, and when Warder House was built, they moved into flat number 6. Now when they moved there, everybody had bedrooms and a dining room and a lounge, but they turned the main room, the biggest room, into a workshop, because he was a tailor by trade. His name was Samuel Schneiderman, and they turned it into a workshop, and they got work to do with Burberrys, and they would cut the coat and hand it to my bubba. She would bring it back to Wardour Street. Then they made the first fitting in the workshop. My mother worked there. She was sewing the collars. We had a person who did the buttonholes. She was Mary. And we had a machinist who also lived in Wardour House. His name was Jack Himmelfarb. And we had another chap, and he was one of the pressers. My grandfather, Mazida, he always did scream and shout at everybody. You could hear him everywhere. Great big pairs of scissors and massive big irons. Anyway, my job there, I used to go there to thread all the needles with a very strong thread. But to make it even stronger, I used to go in the kitchen with a bit of wax, warm it over the gas stove, and pull it through on the thread to make it even stronger. And any time my bubba sewed a button on the coat, it would never, ever come off.